So my name is Mariah Heron, and I will be speaking to you about comparing commercial and subsistence agriculture. Ever since I was in about seventh grade, I was in the FFA, so I find agriculture really interesting and learning about plants and how the crops grow. Some fun facts about agriculture is the single largest employer in the world. There are 914 million acres of farmland just in the United States alone. And then back in 2015, 133.1 billion worth of American agricultural products were exported around the world. And that these facts are from Reality Works. Agriculture and farming occurs every day. The food that is processed all over the world is shipped to various countries for people to eat every day. There are two main types of farming, subsistence and commercial. Subsistence farming is when nearly all crops and livestock are raised mainly for the family's farm, leaving little for trade, which occurs in most underdeveloped countries. Commercial farming is the production of crops and farm animals with the use of modern technology, which occurs in more developed countries like the United States. Factors which distinguish commercial and subsistence would be the purpose for farming, percentage of farms in the labor force, use of modern technology and machinery, size of the farm, and relationship of farming to other businesses. Since both types of agriculture are used around the world, we take a look at the United States, India, and Ethiopia. The United States has roughly 2 million people who farm or ranch. Roughly 90% of those are operated by individuals or family corporations. Many of these farms are commercial that sell animals or other farm products for the use of production. The United States shows the advancement of technology with the use of tractors, combines, baggers, and other equipment. American agriculture provides jobs, including production agriculture, farm inputs, processing and marketing, along with retail and wholesale for 15% of the United States population. This was written by the University of North Carolina. This means that agriculture provides jobs for 15% of the population here in the United States. Almost 30% of the farmers and ranchers have obtained an education through college and postgraduate education. Therefore, farmers consider themselves professionals because they are certified in the use of chemicals, vaccination products, fertilizers, and soils. They tend not to spend money on costly fertilizers unless they are considered to be completely safe, which go into GMO and non-GMOs. Also, precision farming practices boost crop yields and also reduce waste by using maps and computer to map seed, use crop protection, and fertilizers. Modern technology practices also include biotechnology, food safety, and integrated pest management. Besides precision farming practices, a few general facts about agriculture are ethanol and new biodiesel fuels are made from corn and other grains that are beneficial to the environment and promote energy security, meaning that energy is created from the farm to improve the environment, which shows how far agriculture has come. Another fact from North Carolina State University would be agricultural land provides habitat for 75% of the nation's wildlife. Deer, moose, waterfowl, and other species have shown significant population increases during the past several years. Modern technology helps produce less on more acres, which leaves millions of acres for wildlife. It is a blessing that agriculture is helping maintain and create wildlife habitats. In some cases, agriculture can harm, but it helps. But it helps more than it harms. On average, every hour, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, around 6 million of the U.S. agricultural products, grains, cotton, meats, vegetables, and snacks will be co-signed for shipment of export to foreign markets. And this was also stated from North Carolina State University. This shows how much agriculture is used for commercial products, meaning that it is shipped for the use around the world instead of at one's farm. Other countries like India have similar and different methods of farming. India is underdeveloped compared to the United States, which means it's a work in progress. As said, agriculture plays an essential role in the process of economic development of underdeveloped countries like India. This was stated by Prasad. Because agriculture is so important in underdeveloped countries, roughly 72% of all working population is involved with agriculture. Being a main occupation, it is one of the main sources of the national income for the country. The process of agriculture for self-sufficiency use of science and technology help increase yield per hectare. The programs included under the new strategies are high-yielding varieties, multiple cropping programs, integrated development of dry areas, and plant protection measures, increase in the use of fertilizers and new irrigation concepts. This was also stated by Tripathy and Preston. This means that India's agriculture is a work in progress. Science and technology is being figured out and used to create agriculture in a more efficient way. The land patterns, changing agriculture structures, changing cropping patterns, trends in food consumption, outputs, growth, inputs, percentages, source of growth, and instability are all items India is changing to create agriculture to be more efficient. This shows that India has a lot of subsistence farms, but the amount of labor used and uses a lot of labor in farming, but India is making the changes to become more efficient and to become more commercial. Because more modern farm practices are approaching and occurring, besides both the United States and India, countries like Ethiopia are underdeveloped and have an even higher amount of people in the agricultural industry. Ethiopia is home to a large number of people who live on less than $1 a day. Although the economy is diversifying, farming is still the basis of many people. This is stated from Farm Africa. In most developed countries, people are living on more than $1 a day. For example, the United States lives on 5, 10, hundreds, which we also contain a lot more expenses. But roughly 3 out of 4 of the Ethiopians' occupation is in agriculture and is mostly subsistence. Even with a high amount of farming occupations, more than 31 million do not have nutritious foods to eat, stated from Farm Africa. This shows that subsistence farming lacks modern technology and techniques, which, with the lack of training and equipment, access to markets makes it significant for both places. It's difficult to earn a living. With poor access to earn a living, it's even more difficult to farm without the help of education, training, and equipment. But for local markets, they usually grow their root vegetables, maize, wheat, and beans, while others try to grow coffee for cash crops. This is stated from Our Africa. Even though many have poor access to markets, they still produce market crops. Farming methods in Ethiopia remains basic, which leaves little for advancement, but if they invested in farming, it could lead to a major increase in crop yields as well as nutritious food for everyone to eat. Ethiopia, unlike the United States and India, has suffered from advancement. In comparison, Ethiopia is strictly subsistence, meaning most of the products stay for the farmer's family, but some will go to market. India is subsistence, but is working towards advancement of more commercial ideas. On the other hand, the United States is mostly commercial and has the smallest percentage of people in the labor force. The map below shows the occupation of the industries and agricultural services. The map of Ethiopia and India's labor forces have the most to do with agriculture and services because subsistence farming is the way of life. India may be slowly advancing in science and technology, but both Ethiopia and India don't compare. Below shows pictures of farming in all the country. The first picture shows farming in India. Although science and technology advancements are being considered, India is still a work in progress. The middle picture shows farming in Ethiopia. Ethiopians are collecting beans and are using basic farming methods. Finally, the picture on the way right is farming in the United States. The picture clearly shows the use of modern technology, which shows how commercial the United States is. Besides technology and labor forces, in comparison, less developed countries highly rely on subsistence farming and keeping the farm products on the farm, while more developed countries like the United States farm commercial and export their goods rather than keeping the product. In more developed countries, agriculture is a form of business rather than a form of necessity. Overall, more developed countries use commercial agriculture, while less developed countries use subsistence agriculture. Some of subsistence farmers are working towards the means of science and technology that will help them in the use of the modern technology and practices to be more and work towards commercial. Subsistence farming is a way of life to earn a living in the less developed countries and is a high percent of the occupation for most, while farming in more developed countries is a lower percentage because of commercial farming and technology. Farming around the world, as well as in these select countries, differ with the advancements of technology and techniques and education. With limited access to advancement of modernization, it is harder for less developed countries to succeed.